Welcome to Lesson 9. To be smart is all about your ability to think. To think again is all about awareness. Nobody is sure how this process works, but I will make use of two metaphors to explain it. First one, during the process of association, we have learned now that terminal growth takes place from the action of the new know, what you've learned now, to the dendrite of an existing know. With no scientific explanation available how this works, let us use an imaginary spider busy spinning a web between the neuron's axons and dendrites, forming an engram with unknown intelligence. The second metaphor during the thinking process is if there is an orchestra conductor waving his hands and pointing in different instruments to start playing. During the thinking process, engrams, the musical instruments, are activated and you become aware of the stored information in the interconnected neurons regarding the topic you're thinking about. The more you think about the topic, other engrams are activated that were interconnected with each other because previously you saw a relationship between the information of both engrams. So here the spider is at work. So the spider connected it without you knowing that he connects it. And you become aware of the information in the second engram. The more you think to reach an answer or to solve a problem, the more engrams are activated by the conductor. As your awareness jumps from the one engram to the other, the synapses switch the neurons on and off again. If the answer is not found in that specific engram, then it's switched off. Once again, this process happens in milliseconds. The ability to think is unique to humans. Animals function on instinct and a primitive ability to store information in neurons and engrams, only for survival. Some animals, like chimpanzees, have more sophisticated abilities to store information, but far less than humans. No animal can just think to solve a problem. In other words, there's no conductor present. Where a human can sit on its own without sensory stimulation, so in other words, from outside any stimulation, and just think about something, the conductor is there present. It is, however, also true that the more instruments in the orchestra, the more engrams, the more impressive the sound of the music. The more knows and knowledge that are stored in your brain with the necessary engram formation and interconnections, the better your ability to think. Most people have enough knows and knowledge stored to survive in life, but with a limited ability to think and solve problems. Only a few people are be-smart thinkers, with millions of active neurons and thousands of engrams to withdraw information from, solve problems and become high achievers in life. All humans have approximately the same number of neurons, but only a percentage of those neurons are used effectively, filled with knows and knowledge. Be-smart people have more interconnected neurons with knows and knowledge, and people with degrees connected an extra few with their chosen education subject matter. They also added a knowledgeable stage in their field of study. The building blocks are there, but you are not necessarily a be-smart person yet. You only become a be-smart person when you use all the stored information and place them in engrams and further interconnect the different engrams. In other words, the use of the spider. Remember, the spider is connecting while you're thinking with each other. This only happens when you start to think. Use your conductor to make you aware of stored information. For example, you start by thinking about what you have learned in whatever field of study you are busy with, and give the conductor time to run through your database and pick up on the awareness presented to you and recognize the connections with existing knowledge. It will happen, and when it does, the automatic physical process of presynaptic growth, the spider at work, will take place. It is important to note that this thinking process is dependent on the pre-existing building blocks of how much you know. Don't despair if it doesn't happen at first, especially if you start with a new subject matter. Study the new information a bit longer and keep on thinking, and eventually the interconnection between the different engrams will take place. And the more you think, the more engrams with interconnections with other engrams that have nothing to do with this new subject matter, although there are correlations. When this happens, you will now be able to use this new knowledge in everyday communication, and that will make you be smart.